Now, you would think that after losing $19 billion of market capitalization, that Anheuser-Busch, the parent company for Bud Light, would do an about-face, or at least at a minimum, stop going down the same road. But not so. They recently announced sponsoring of a pride parade. They are now also offering $200,000 to any visible minorities of the LGBTQI++ community that operate a business. So why are they doing this? Why are they committing financial suicide? Well, it's simple. I believe it's obviously principle over profit. This isn't about Anheuser-Busch anymore. This is about the whole trans movement, this whole pride ideology. You see, Anheuser-Busch represents the first time that somebody, a group of people, conservatives, whatever you want to call them, have effectively taken a stand against this. Finally, the line in the sand has been crossed, and people have said enough is enough. So, if this boycott continues and Anheuser-Busch is forced to apologize and do an about-face, that's a major loss for the entire movement. You see, that proves that this thing is the Achilles heel. There is a chink in the armor. Because typically what's happened up until now, the cancel culture has worked in the reverse. Those that are in favor of all of this have been able to cancel anybody who's spoken out. Recently, you probably heard about a Blue Jays player who spoke out and then withdrew his speaking out and apologized within hours. So this event, being able to bring Anheuser-Busch to its knees to the point where they finally say, we were wrong and we're not going down this direction, would be a major victory. And it would prove that the minorities, the people, the small splinter group who's been promoting this ideology, don't have all the power. This is a power dynamic. You have to realize that communists, leftists, socialists, Marxists, radicals, they like to project power. And the moment they lose that projection of power, everything is off the table and they've lost the battle. This is what this is about. This is about more than beer. This is about an entire movement being forced to regress and give up ground that they already thought they totally owned. They believed they owned your kids. They believed they owned your politicians. They believed they owned everything. And there was no reason or nothing left to resist them. Recently, I drove through my town, and just at the beginning of June now, I've got pride banners everywhere. I got a giant pride flag. I was in another city the other day, same thing. Now, if this Anheuser-Busch story holds true and they are forced to retract, what does that say for city halls? That proves that ordinary citizens banding together can say, no, I'm not dealing with this insanity. Now, don't get me wrong. One of the things that happens in this whole craziness is this whole umbrella organization's been lumped together. I believe the radical Marxists, the people who want to divide everything and want to disassociate, and the deconstructionists have captured the lesbian and gay community. I've met gay and lesbian people over the years, wonderful people. They never wanted to trans kids. They didn't want to cut off their genitals or do anything else. They wanted to just live their lives. But there is a radical element that's now taken over and hijacked everything. This radical element has also encompassed the First Nations people and the Two Spirits and everything else. And the reason they do this, the reason they make this group larger and larger and more inclusive in their language, is so that when you criticize any aspect of it, they can label you a racist, a homophobe, whatever, you name it. So the larger I can make this umbrella, any criticism of the deviousness of it forces you to look like I said, a racist, a misogynist, or whatever you want to name it. And that's the brilliant tacticianing of what these people do. And they see the Anheuser-Busch, this Bud Light moment, as being the turning point where people have finally had enough. And you're starting to see it. People are pushing back. Ordinary, normal people are saying, hey, I don't want my kids being taught about weird sexuality in school. I don't believe my kids belong to you. My kids belong to me. And there's no one who's going to pollute their minds or confuse them or replace my role as a parent in their lives. Anyway, folks, if you are part of this fight, you've stopped buying Bud Light, continue on. This fight we have to win. If we lose ground on this, essentially this is the culture war battle that we can finally win which should strengthen other people to begin to finally believe that this evil agenda, these radicals, can be defeated and we can go back to some sense of normalcy in our society. Anyway, I thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Please post any comments you have in the comment section. You can also follow me in my Rumble or my Locals account. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so, and I will see you next time.